Hello. I just got off of vacation. And now I'm back home with my beautiful dogs. First day back home, and I simply wanted to talk. I've been speaking to myself. I gets annoying sometimes. Like, yeah, shut up, me. I have a really bad problem with playing scenarios in my head, and they just don't stop. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Ay. But yeah. Not even when it's in recording, I can truly talk to thyself. Whoosh. Oh, I got my knife back. See? It's a butter knife. It's really sharp, though. I like to cut stuff up, like boxes. Look at my doggy. He's adorable. Oh, look at him. We're probably gonna have to give him a bath soon. He smelled really bad because we had people watch him. But oh yeah. I wanted to talk about stuff in my head. Well, like ideas, not like my brain. Stupid. Like, shut up. But, I was speaking about this. I was on a roller coaster and like, look at all those little people. They're so small. All the lights are so beautiful. But there's probably thousands of more people than lights on there right now. Thousands of people with lives, stories that I don't know, but I would love to. People are strange like that, People could find a friendship practically anywhere. But people are like magnets. You can press them so close together. But in the end, there will truly be a space in between. Like, there's probably people you see in your daily life all the time. Now, you see them, but do you talk to them? Do you know them? Do you even see what happens when they go home? Do you see their lives? Do you know what they do in their free time? That person could become your bestest friend for the rest of your life, or become a tragedy if they died. That person could become anything to you. A bully, a bullied. And yet, people don't seem to like to talk to each other that much. You see the homeless man on the streets and you're like, ignore him. Don't make eye contact. You see the person that walks weirdly down your school and you're like, who's that weirdo? You do want to talk to them, but they seem busy. And they walk like they walk like someone's gonna hit them in the back of the head with a baseball bat if they go too slowly. But so many people, so many lives, so many stories, so many things that you simply don't know. People could be having a hard time out there, Someone might go home with a smile on their face and go to bed, and go to bed crying. Someone might be crying and yet be happy in a way. So many things and so many things that you don't know about someone. It's oddly strange. Ugh. I can't really communicate what I'm thinking, right? You know? I want to say so many things, you know? So many ideas, so many thoughts. You know, when I can properly speak, my friends call me pretty smart. I think they're my friends. You never truly, fully know someone. Most people are horrid, disgusting liars. Lying constantly, laughing at you. Ugh. My jokes are bad. Bad boy. You too, Sir Papers. But what was I saying? I forgot. Freddy. Ruff. Tell me what I was talking about. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Most of my friends think I'm pretty smart if I can fully indicate what I'm trying to say. Like, I have this one friend, and they were going through hard stuff. I realized that I'm practically the friend therapist when people are having hard times. I talk them out of hanging themselves, or cutting, or blah, blah, blah. Like, shut up. Ay. But I'm practically the friend therapist because when I can truly talk fully, I'm like really good at supporting people. When I grow up, I'm thinking I might become a psychologist or something. You know? Or if this whole YouTube gig goes out, I'll probably just do this. It's a lot easier. Much easier. I just record stuff, forget about it for like a year, and post it hoping I didn't say something I shouldn't have. Is someone coming down the stairs? Do you ever hear that weird sound that a house makes? Because I hear that all the time and I'm like, what is that? Is it the heater? Because it's cold enough to see my breath if the house wasn't being heated. Wait, what was I talking about? Brain, work for me. Damn it. Well, that weird sound. Sometimes, I hear a weird bubbling, squeaking sound in my neck, you know? It's like... And it's like comes from the back of my neck. Should I get that checked out by a doctor? I can like move a lot of my joints. Weirdly. Wait, look. Wait. I know it doesn't really come out on camera, especially when I'm doing it that close, but like, it feels really weird on my bone. And I can only do it with that arm. Other arm, not so much. It just feels like a weird stretching sensation when I do it with the wrong arm. But what was I talking about? I, I'm old. What's a better word? I have bad memory. Bad memory. You know, I tend to forget stuff a lot. Unless someone owes me money, or I see them doing something that might be guilty, or if someone's lying to me, or insulting me, or something like that. Like recently in school, a lot more people have been just telling me to kill myself, and I'm like, oh, yay, I get it, aye. And at this point, I don't even think they're serious anymore. Before it was like, you fucking yourself. And now it's like, hi, kill yourself. Like, if you're going to say it to me, at least make it serious. Now I don't know how to feel. Like, is that just the new way people, like, announce their presence to me? Or are they actually wanting me to? I try to be as loud and as presentable as I can in school. And don't think I'm like screaming in the middle of class. I have all A's. I've actually been an honor student in middle school like the whole time. But yeah. I try my best to make people like me. I study a lot of people's reactions and stuff, and I realized a loud, fast personality usually works the best. Sure, it annoys most people, but the people that aren't annoyed are usually the kinds of people I like to hang out with. Entertaining. Most of the time I'm just bored, you know? Like, I wouldn't prefer to lay in bed all the time, because I want to get something done. But half the time I'm like, blah. And the other half the time I'm like, ugh. Other half the time I'm like, just stab me already. And then like, where was I talking? I think I hit my head against the wall too many times. A few too many times. 100 few too many times. You know, I'm surprised I don't have a scar from doing that. When I was younger, I would beat my head against a wall. Yeah. It served a lot of purposes. For one, it tended to make the person yelling at me shut the hell up. And for two, it would just clear my mind. But I don't know if that's why I have kind of bad memory sometimes, you know? But Mutt. Look at my cute, adorable dog. Look at him. I'm taking this tone specifically because I don't really want to sound insane. I don't know why, but in my life it seems like I've always just been put as guilty. At school I would get into a lot of fights, not because I wanted to, even though some of them were fun. It's because I honestly didn't really know why. It would be hard to sit down in class. My back had this weird thing where it would go and feel like I was being stabbed in the spine hundreds of times. it would be this burning sensation in my back if I sat down for too long, which made everything really hard. I would just be sitting down in class and then boom, I'd have to move around. It didn't make me the friendliest person, mostly because of the fact that when you're in constant back pain while at school and people try to mess with you constantly, you're pretty irritated most of the time. Maybe that's the reason. But when I would ever get like in trouble and my mom would have to come or blah blah blah, where the teachers would just straight up lie to me and say that my dad wasn't coming and that he would be the one coming, I would almost be always sought as the guilty party. Sometimes the teachers would make up random little things to make me look even more guilty, which I think is them just believing the other kid more than me. You know? That's weird, you know? I wasn't very good at school back then. Didn't ever really like it. Tell you the truth, surprisingly, the hardest year of school for me was the first ever year of school for me. It's just so weird. We got our nap times and yet, ugh. It just felt like I was dying inside. Yeah, but since my back would hurt a lot, which was probably me just getting scoliosis. I have scoliosis, my back's all bent up. And I think I heard my mom say that my hip isn't level either. So I got a few problems with my bones apparently. I can't remember. Sometimes my brain just makes things up, you know? I only really say things that I'm like 90-ish% sure actually happened, you know? It's not like I saw something moving and I can tell you that at the moment. It's more of like my brain processes something for like 7 to 5 seconds. It either believes it or it doesn't believe it and switches out the information if it doesn't. Or if it doesn't really want to. My brain's almost always in a constant state of denial. I doubt if I have conversations with people. I doubt if I talked to someone even. And it makes it really awkward because I'm usually wrong, I think. Probably. Wait. Damn it. I can't tell anymore. But, I'm pretty sure. I've doubted a few times that I've actually talked to someone and just completely ignored them out of not wanting to feel embarrassed. Going like, hey, remember me from yesterday? And them going like, who the hell are you? And I'd be like, we talked. And then he would go, no. Like, that would be really embarrassing for me. So when that happens, I just tend to ignore people, and I know it's a problem, but like, ugh. I really don't want to look stupid. You know? But nuts is another thing to talk about. Yeah, as a kid, I'm pretty sure I was always seen as guilty. I think it's because I wrecked a few classrooms. My mom doesn't have it up anymore, but You can see the mark. That's how I remember if stuff was truly real or not. Marks, physical ones that are left behind. See? It was a board. That board had the date and stuff, and she would mark every day I was grounded for doing something bad at school. She never believed me when I would go, they attacked me first. I'm just defending myself. I'm trying to live here. I don't want to go. Because I was always guilty. It was my fault. My. But it was always my fault in her mind, you know? Which always annoyed me. Why can't you simply trust your son? Why can't you trust in me? I'm all I am to you, a monster. I'm all I am to you, some worthless child. Child. That evil to you. No, she always says she loves me. And we hug. And we say we care for each other. But when things come to actually mattering, when those words matter, she throws me under the bus, gets in it herself, and runs me over twice. And that's one of the things I hate about my mother. She's not very smart either. My father, I think I posted the video of my father. Never liked my father. Well, maybe a little at the start. I don't know what happened to him. Over the years and years, I think he at one time was a good person. Maybe. I don't know. My birth proves that he was practically a scumbag. Because I'm pretty sure he technically cheated on my stepmom, having me. So I'm pretty sure that practically proves that he wasn't really a good person at the start. But my older sisters, my older half-sisters, they seemed to actually think he was a pretty good father. They turned out nicely. Fine, I guess. So maybe at one point he was. I don't really know. But all he did when I was with him would be insulting me. Every little action I would do would be like stepping on needles. Because every time I moved and every time I didn't, it was just another thing for him to yell at me at. And I don't really know why. I can barely even remember all the times he's yelled at me. Probably because most of the times I would just hit my head against a wall and scream and cry, but I do remember a few. But what I do remember is when I would go home, Mom would almost never believe me. I had to claw my way out of that pit. That family. With my dad. With my own hands. So many plans. So many things and preparations I had to do. And still, when I give her a video proving that I was right, she barely believes me. She even sometimes goes like, well, if you don't want to be here, I can send you back to your dad's. Well, my therapist said that my dad's abusive. So, like, stop saying that. Because you fucking die. But Dad mostly only yelled. He only hit me one time. All the other times we merely just grab it. And Mom says that spankings aren't even really hits. No one really cared. But I hated that man. Life is so damn strange, you know? He wasn't just liked by people. He actually had a lot of friends. A lot of friends. I think the best word to explain him would probably be a narcissist, you know? He almost never saw fault in what he actually did. And when he would lose a friend, he would go, that's their fault. I didn't do anything. He would get in fights with people. And yet, he would be completely fine. Just saying he has a lot of cop friends or judge friends or blah blah blah. He lost a lot when I left him. He lost me. He lost his home. He lost his girlfriend, which was technically my stepmother. And he lost me. I don't know if I already said myself, I forgot. I don't know if he's doing better now. He does text me and go on and trying to guilt trip me sometimes. Like, don't you still love your father? There's no still in there. I never really did. Old people suck. We should all just throw them in a massive burning pit and record their screams. They're just all wastes. Like, they get to a certain age and they're like, I'm better than you now. I can barely move. I'm slow. My hips aren't working. I feel like death constantly, and yet I'm better than you. Merely because of the fact that they're bigger, because they're older, because their teeth started falling out, because their body's slowly rotting with their living brain in it. Their rotting living brain in it. Am I supposed to respect that? Am I supposed to care for that? A fat old man yelling at a child for a mistake that man did not even teach the child was a mistake? For an old man to yell and yell and yell and yell and scream at a boy not even half his age, not even a third of his age, not even half his size at that rate. Is that supposed to be respectable? Is that supposed to scare me? You speak and you speak and you speak and you yell, and you're bigger than me. But is that supposed to scare me? never really got the point of why parents thought they were so cool. I'm bigger now. My dad's 6 foot, and I'm like 5 foot something still. But I'm pretty sure I would win if it came down to it. My dad's a fat waste of air. And yet if you asked him, he'd probably go, I'm better than that kid. I don't get them. I truly don't. So people... Oh, I should have probably recorded this, but I didn't expect this video to be so long, so I recorded it on the side. But people are so strange. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought there. What was I speaking about? Blah, 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 blah. I can hear the cars moving outside. You know, when everything's silent, I don't know how to feel. I wouldn't call myself an extrovert, even though I try to imitate their mannerisms as much as I can. I have a stuffy nose. Even though I try to imitate their mannerisms as much as I can. I wouldn't call myself an out. Oh wait, did I say introvert or outrovert? What's the difference again? I forgot. I wouldn't call myself an outrovert, I meant, even though I try to mimic their mannerisms as much as I can. But I wouldn't say I'm an introvert, you know? I'm like on the higher part of the scale if there was one. Like, I don't really like people. But I prefer something that I can see would change. Something to like analyze, you know? Something to think about. And most things that are easy to think about are humans. You think, what move they might do next? When I get in a pondering state, you know, I tend to like slur my words. Is that the right word for it? Jamble. Kind of like how I write. I tend to think of like the third word I'm gonna write before I write the first word. And then I'm already on like the next sentence while I'm writing. So sometimes my hand just like moves to write a letter that I would write on where my brain is writing, but not where I am writing, you know? So most of my writings end up jumbled. A mess of letters that probably shouldn't be there, but then you see they're probably just from a word, other. Wait, no, not other. That's bad description. Probably just from a word further along the sentence. I don't really like sharp things, but I play with them a lot. I like cutting stuff. Just the feeling of something slicing under your blade, like a tree or a plant. I like to garden. Sometimes, I mean. One of my favorite pastimes is to go to a swing by my house. There's a small park by my house. After school, almost every day, I go to that swing and I 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 swing to get my mind off things. When I was a kid, I used to love swinging. It was so fun. I got so good at swinging, I could push myself. Not that anyone would push me, unless it was off the swing. I can even push those swings that aren't, well, I can even swing by myself on those swings that aren't meant to be swinged by yourself on. You know, those big rope swings, you know? I'm really good at doing stuff alone. I think that's something my father didn't really like about me. Or blah blah blah. It makes me not really that good at following instructions correctly. So he would yell at me. But either his instructions were so... they were weirdly worded most of the time. Confusing as hell. And then most of the time they were so, like, what's it called? Vivid, you know? He would tell me to go grab a box in the kitchen, and I would see 5 boxes. So I would grab a box. He would say no. I would go back, grab another box. He would say no. I go back and grab another box. He would say no. He would get more irritated, and then he would just start yelling at me, no, 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 no. You don't know what a fucking box is? Well, I don't know what you mean. And then, eventually, I run out of boxes. So I get, what's the word of a thingy? Is it rectangle? I can't remember. Rectangle. This shape. I see that shape. And I go, might as well. It was a cooler. He said that was right. I mean, you could have told me it was a cooler. You didn't have to go through the whole screaming match. You told me to get a box, so I got you a box. If you want a cooler, tell me to get the cooler. That's how he would explain things to me. His explanations and... what's it called? His instructions were never very clear. I think he just wanted to yell at me sometimes. But never really clear instructions, and I would just get confused, and then he would just call me dumb, or this is wrong, or blah, 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 blah. And I would be going like, do it yourself then. On the very few occasions I would say I would want to help, he would say, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And on the more occasions he would say, I'm forcing you to help, he would say, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Well, if everything I do is wrong, why can you not do it yourself? Get off your couch. Do something more than complain about your worthless life. And do something right for once. Of course, that would just piss him off, but eventually I could probably get him to do it. I figured him out pretty well. I eventually learned what ticked him off and blah 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 blah. How to get him to fight someone. He was in the palm of my hands. Of course, he was unpredictable most of the time. But it made it easier, you know? I realized, if I just sleep for like 11 hours, they won't wake me up. They slept for a long time. Really long. Most of the day, actually. That whole family did. It confused me a lot. And now I think about it, it was probably just so they didn't have to talk to each other. I got so good at sleeping that on the weekends, I would just like sleep probably more than I was awake. But yeah. So never really good at following instructions. But if you put them in good enough terms and just told me what you wanted, I could probably do it perfectly. Just don't overcomplicate it or oversimplify it. Like, if you told me wash the dishes, I could do that perfectly. I could wash the dishes, fine. If you told me throw out the trash, I can do that too. But if you told me walk 5 feet ahead of you, 5 feet back, then twirl in the air or something, I'm bad at making instructions up. Then go blah blah blah. I'd probably mess that up. It's just so weird to do. I'm bad at explaining things. Almost cut myself there. This thing is deceptively sharp. I like it though. I sharpened it myself. One day I was like, I'm really bored. So I got this butter knife. It was dull. You know, my dad's knives, always really dull. Sister would go like, I want to cut an avocado. And that's something you can normally do with, what's it called? A butter knife. But she got one of those big kitchen knives. But the thing was so dull that it didn't cut through the skin. And she just cut herself like an idiot. She didn't cut the avocado in any manner. And just ended up hurting herself more. That's why I prefer a sharp knife. It's safer. Probably. Maybe. I think. I don't know if you can see it. Focus. Focus! Well, that ain't working, so I can't show you. But yeah. What's something more to talk about? Huh? What was that? Did something flash up in front of the screen? I just saw the screen go all black. Did something move? Yeah, but Don't really know what to do. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have a journal. People say it's good to journal sometimes. I'm not gonna show you my journal because, as I said, my writing is all messed up, so I'd probably look insane to you. My writing all curled up and all jambled. Looks like the ravings of a lunatic. But I have a journal, and I write in it sometimes to pass the time. I made a story once. It was about an eagle. The eagle dies at the end, but I thought it was beautiful, like a poem. But I was never good with poetry. I don't know if what I wrote could be considered a poem, but I think of it as my own personal little story that I made. I liked it. I felt rather proud of it. I don't really like to write, you know? I can read, but I'm not very good at literature and stuff, and writing and reading and blah blah blah. I barely have an A in English. Barely. And that's not really because I can write well or because blah blah blah. It's because I can think over stuff. English isn't really, well, English class or ELA isn't really about your writing abilities or anything like that. It helps to have an advantage in writing in that class, but they don't really teach you anything about reading. I didn't even learn how to read from school, really. You know Dogman? Those books? I used to really like them. I would figure out how to read by just figuring out the pictures there. But other than that, I was practically illiterate for a while when I was younger. My dad would always go like, I'm not like, wait, what's a good way to explain this? I don't think I can just say my name. Okay, my replacement name is Obble Obble Wobble Wobble. Because it sounds funny. My dad would go, Obble Wobble Wobble Wobble. Can't read well, but he can do math almost perfectly. Better than me, in fact. Dad did not know how to do my math homework if I showed him it. So it would just be a screaming match, and I went like, I shut up, you idiot. And then he would go to my sister and go, you're good at reading, but you suck shit at math. Because my sister's school, for some reason, didn't start teaching division till like 6th grade. So I don't know what they were doing. Because those are the basics. I think I learned division in like 2nd grade. So I don't know what was wrong with my sister's school. But my dad would go like, obble wobble wobble wobble. He's good at math but bad at reading. And sister is bad at math but good at reading. You guys should help each other out. And sister would go like, fuck that piece of shit. And just like not help. I would help her with math. I wanted to be friendly. Sister, out of all the personalities and people I've met, confused me the most, you know? I still can't really explain her right. I probably couldn't even show her personality right. I couldn't tell if she truly hated me or if she was just under a facade, you know? Like one time she paid her friends to beat me up, and another time she broke Sophia the First bat on my head and back, and another time she beat me with a Barbie doll, and another time she beat me with a wooden spoon, and another time she threw a Barbie doll head at my head, which hurt a lot surprisingly, and another time she punched me in the face, and another time she just slowly just started hitting me, and another time, what was another time? I think she tried to lock me out of their home a few times. And I would go like, yeah. But then sometimes she would go like, thank you. And they would sound sincere. I said, my tongue's in a knot. But I never really understood what was with them. It was confusing. People are so strange. Wait, what was I saying? Oh, yes, school. Oh, wait. No. Is that too far back? Or is that... Yeah, I just completely forgot what I was talking about. Hopefully, yeah. I was thinking about maybe ripping my eye out. I have a stuffy nose. I was in Florida, as you might have been able to see from my other videos, if any of you actually watch my other videos that aren't just vacation, because I post other stuff. My God. I don't believe in God. Wait, what was I saying? Damn it. Yeah, but I thought about ripping out my eye. Because, an eye patch would look cool. Right? And, my YouTube name is Man with Many Eyes. So I think it would be really ironic if I only had one eye. That would be funny. I could get another eye patch, and it would be an eye patch covered with an eye design. It would be hilarious. I just would have stared. But it would be fun. I mean. I wouldn't actually do it. I'm a coward. I'm horrified of the idea of dying, because to me, I don't really believe in a soul or an afterlife. I just believe once you die, everything goes dark and you forget everything in your life. You become nothing. Because what truly makes up a person is not a soul, as some might think. It's not fully the body, even though that plays a pretty decent part in it. It is the memory. It is the mind. Without your memories, would you truly be you? Or would you just be a model to mold? You know? I think that idea has been brought up in TV shows and stuff, but what truly makes the person, is their experience, their memory, their ideas formed by those memories. Someone that grew up poor probably acts cheaper most of the time. Or how they've seen others live, they probably throw all their money at the wall now that they got some, merely excited to finally be out of their struggle, not realizing doing that will probably just throw them into the same old pit. But if that person forgot everything, started anew, would that person be that person? No. Because when you think not to touch a fire, or not to rub your hand on a sharp object, that's because of memory, dude. That's because things you've seen telling you not to do that. You would probably do that eventually if you did not remember, if you did not see, and if you did not know. Would that technically make you a different person? Probably not, if you kept everything else. But if everything you know, everything you've seen, everything you've heard, simply goes blurp from your mind, are you truly you? No. You are nothing. And you will always be nothing at that rate. The body is like a robot. It gives you the ability to move. It gives you the ability to see. And it gives you the ability to remember. That's what that big old brain in most of your heads is for. So if you died, and that means your brain died too, you wouldn't remember shit. Because your memories are held in your brain. Thus, since you don't remember anything, and you can't move, and you can't feel, because you don't have a body anymore, you're nothing. That's it. There's no soul that you have, and there's no afterlife for you. Because people wouldn't be able to be changed from their minds being messed around with if they had a soul. Because that means their personality and their memories would be held in that thing. But I don't know. I might get stormed by a religious cult or something and brutally murdered. I don't know what that would prove to them. But yeah, it might make them feel better. People are truly just selfish beings. But this video is getting long, and I know no one's going to watch this, probably. So, I shall bid you adieu right after petting my dog. Are you dead? Wake up. Wake up, Sir Papers. Oh my God. I hear a heartbeat. Don't die on me, my love. I'm joking. Well, I bid you adieu. Is that the right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that means I say goodbye. So bye-bye. See you next video. Have a nice day.